Hello and good evening, everyone. Oh my absolute Enoch and a half. It's absolutely amazing to be here, to be able to talk to you guys, to be able to reach out and to just to be here. Um, I want to talk to you about a few things. I want to talk to you about a million things, man. I'm going to be here as often as I can and trying to put some points across, trying to help you, trying to give you advice if you need it, but mostly to get you to jump on board because we need you over here. The project needs you. I mean, I noticed that like the people who give the most are the people that have the least. And I mean, it's not really them that I'm trying to reach out to. I want people that have a little bit more than nothing. Like me, I have a tiny little bit more than nothing. It's not much, but it's more than a lot of people that have got. And so, I've reached out to billionaires, millionaires, and yeah, it's all fallen on deaf ears, as you can imagine. I mean, they definitely don't want change in the world unless they get in the kudos for it. And it's only change where they can I don't know, get a nice little tax break or something. But yeah, so I've been blocked on social media by some millionaires, billionaires just purely for not, I'm not asking for money. I never ask for money, you know. It's not about that. I mean, like I said, there is a funding page for it, but we don't ask for money. I ask for help. I ask for hands on hands. You've got some hands. Even if you got one, there are people with no hands and they still do lots of work. So come on. Like, it's about opening your heart and using your hands to show people that you've got one. Like, I mean, me, myself, everyone else, come, we've all been through some crazy stuff, some really, really mad stuff. Like, especially over the past few years, man, we are split on every single thing. We have been separated on every single thing. And that's all. I mean, we've been separated for years. We're plotted into groups and we argue for the rights of this group and for that group, but it's all a pretense, because at the end of the day, we think we're given these freedoms or we're given these rights, but we're just given something to keep us occupied. Like fighting for this right, fighting for that. It's just something that we can stand up and wave our own flag around and say, like, oh, this is the injustice we're fighting against. But all of that shit, that can be stamped out in a heartbeat. If we just woke up to the idea and the fact that oh my gosh, like we are the human race, and like that's what we've got. Right? We've got our consciousness, we've got our hearts, we've got our minds, and we've got our hands. And so, like the things that we do with our hearts, our minds, and our hands, it keeps the world spinning. For us anyway, there's a lot more that keeps the world spinning, but for us, that keeps our world spinning. So it's about what I'm trying to get across is we need to start to make the differences that really need to be made in society. We got so many things that are going wrong, but so many things that we can control. It's not out of our control. We're just told that certain things are out of our control because guess what? Like, if we believe that we're in control, then that means that we can do anything. We can have the society that we want, right? But the powers that be, they don't want you knowing that you are actually in control. I mean, at the end of the day, like government, they're our employees, guys. Ours. It's not the other way around. But they have us believing that it is the other way around. There's always a threat of this or a threat of that. Come on, man. Like, never a government turn around and say, do you know what? Things are bad, but we're actually going to try and make things right here. We're going to pull troops in from overseas and stop them from guarding poppy fields and oil fields and this, that, and the other and pretending they're giving freedom to people. Come on, we know the score, man. We were mourned. We were warned about what was going on. But look, that's neither here nor there. That's just the world, right? And them are some of the things that we can't control, right? And so, but the things we can control is how we deal with situations ourselves, how we approach things. Instead of, like, with the project, we want to help homeless people, right? And so instead of, passing these people in the street, and, we don't carry money anymore, so, we can't give them change. It'd be nice to be able to give them money and think that they'll use it for their benefit instead of for escaping where they are. But at the end of the day, that's how the world is set up for them. They need to escape, just like we all escape. Look, people go down the pub, they go here, they go on holidays, they go this, they go do that. That's escapism. It's all escapism. Waiting for the weekend. That's escapism. Waiting for, like, some event to happen, and getting to that event. That's escapism, right? Now, we need to escape that reality for a minute and look outside, look around us. What's really going on? What is actually going on? Man, because you can see it everywhere. It's everywhere. I know the whole world's scared of this and scared of that and scared of this and scared of that. But you know what? That the fear is just fed to you. If you switch off your TVs and stop listening to certain music, then you know what? You'll start to feel a little bit better. I mean, if you're going to watch TV and listen to music, watch the things that benefit you, right? Don't watch things that tell you that, Armageddon is 2 seconds away. I mean, we know that the end of the world is only a minute away all the time, man, because we're just a ball floating in the middle of space, right? And so, cheeses with holes in chaps, come on, guys. Like, we're banging trouble all the time. So, like, never forget that. Like, all the time we're banging trouble. But it's neither here nor there, because we forget about all of that stuff. It's just out the window to us, because guess what? We've got all of this other stuff occupying our minds. We've got work, we've got family, we've got the internet, we've got what's on the bloody telly on a Friday night. You know? Ain't no one going out to restaurants and pubs anymore. That's kaput, that's gone. See you later, man. Everyone spent lockdown drinking pints of vodka. When they get to the pub, it's like, what is this watered down crap I'm drinking for £6 a shot? Come on, no, we're going back home. Go Tesco's on the way home. No, it's there's a lot happened, guys, and people lost a lot of stuff. A lot of people lost a lot of people. Now that especially, that didn't have to happen, and we know that didn't have to happen, guys. We're in a live operation here, man. So never forget that. So this is why I'm saying to you, when you're watching TV, watch stuff that benefits you. Switch off the news. Watch shows that educate you. Learn about the universe. Learn about biology. Learn about growing your own food. Learn about Ayurveda. Learn about, like, learn about stuff that educates you instead of stuff that gives you just enough knowledge to keep you dumb. At the end of the day, like this whole thing that we've got going on with the internet, and everyone always arguing some point on the internet. It's created for that. It's created to gather everyone's information, to gather everyone's thoughts, right? What they're thinking, what they're eating, what they're doing, everything. It's all there, man. And that's even this, it's irony, yes, we love it, right? Even this, it's all kept in a database, and it's all scrutinized, and it's all just sitting there, and we freely hand over this information all the time, or with all of our social media platforms, our names, our email addresses, our passwords, all of that stuff, our bank details. It's all in there. It's all in there, and it's all a harvesting of information and thought process. And so this is why like, you know, when it is used to the advantage, it's not necessarily something that's liked from the other side, from the creators of these things that are supposed to keep you down here, or down fear, should I say. That's where they keep you down fear. We need to raise above all of that stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, you, every single one of you, absolutely amazing, beautiful things. You are so powerful. You do not understand how fucking powerful you are. You're absolute magic, right? Just to understand the complexities of all of the things that's going on just to keep you together. All of the dances of the molecules and everything, the atoms and all of that stuff inside your body. There is an absolute universe inside you, the universe. But there's also the universe, okay? And we're all connected, every single one of us, all absolutely connected to each other, to every single thing. You know, like your body is made up of 100 trillion cells. Inside each one of them cells, there's 100 trillion other things, and inside them, there's other things. And, you know, we're going from atoms all the way down to quarks and subquarks, planks and subplanks. Come on, man. Jesus, beholds it, man. Everything is all connected on that fundamental level, right? Everything. Quantum mechanics shows us this, right? It shows us that there is a connectivity of everything. Everything is an energetic field. That's all this is. It's just an energetic field. And, you know, like our vision is what we see. You don't see me, I don't see you. It's not what we are. We're just interpretations of that energetic field. And, you know, it's out of balance. You know, it's really out of balance because we've got so many bad things going on right now. Like they've always been going on, but right now, especially with this time that we're living in, we have the social media time. You know, so we've got, like, you know, just everything being thrown at us all at once. Everything's a psyop. Everything, the TV, the radio, all the frequencies that are running through your body, they're damaging you. And so it's why it's very important to unblock all of that stuff and to watch educational stuff that isn't trying to fear you or to make you feel fear or pander to some kind of negative response that you can have within your body. Because, you know, like it's one thing to just watch these things, but it's another thing to let it affect you. Okay, so, you know, like, just have a deal with yourself. You're gonna watch a horror movie, have a deal with yourself that this is purely for entertainment purposes. You know, I block out any kind of messages that this is trying to send. It's not scary because, you know what, it is just a movie. You know, at the end of the day, we know that people live through horror stories, but it just seems to be our life. You know, some people get it better than others, some people get it a lot worse. And it's those people I want to talk to you about. It's that I ramble on and I get, you know, I go off on a tangent here and there, but I've got so much to say and so much that I want to do that I guess everything will all just come out at once sometimes. And so, yeah, but it's important to me that I do reach you in some way, you know, so I need help with the project. We need to start to wake people up to who they really are. Because in magic, every single one of you is absolutely a piece of magic. And you don't know that because you've been taught otherwise. You have been taught otherwise. And so, and it starts from the very youngest of ages, you know, it's the education system. I mean, teachers, of course, they don't even know what they're implementing. They just think it's the curriculum, but the education system, it's also just like the original education system. It's also created to teach you just enough to keep you below a certain level. So, you know, it's this is one of the things in education. I wanna get into education at some point, you know, and sort of bring some of the project classes into the education system to help better um, to help make things a little bit better, in the sense that we are at the moment, I know we're raising a lot of amazing kids and stuff like that, but we're also having a lot of problems as well. You know, where education is concerned, it could just even be down to an attention problem. You know, the kid's got no attention, and then all of a sudden they're just labeled as something else. You know what I mean? They're labeled with, you know, some letters, and this is what you are all of a sudden. And do you know what that does to a kid? Like, things like that, what it does to a kid, it just ruins them. It destroys their self-confidence, you know, because they have that label. Do you understand? It's like when I was a kid, right? I was a bit disruptive in class. You know, that was noticed, yeah? You know what wasn't noticed? Was all my work was finished and completed. I was waiting for everyone else to finish. And I get, you know, I'm a kid. Boredom probably sets in, and I get a little bit, you know, overactive. But guess what? Like, you know, it's if you sit a bunch of kids in a classroom and you make them sit there doing what amounts to, you know, clerical paperwork for, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours of the day, guess what? They're probably gonna get a bit bored, you know? So it's easier to break up things and to give them tools that they can use before they go into lessons. You know, help them center. So you know what? Before we have, like, when we get into school, let's not go to lessons for the first hour, right? Let's have a half hour of meditation and mindfulness and other practices that help them to see each other as beautiful light beings, that they're in this class together, learning together, and that they can learn so much more that the education allows them. They can learn this, and then everything else all falls into place. You know, these things that have so many ideas, you know, especially where the kids are concerned, you know, like, because we are raising the future, right? And our present, oh my, absolutely not gonna half, guys. Are you serious about our present? Wow. Leaders of the world who can't come to decisions unless the decision is drop something somewhere? Blimey, guys, come on. Wow. We've got people who, we have got a society ran by groups of people who have never, ever, ever bowed out with honor. Right? No one bows out in honor in politics, you know? No one. There's always scandal, there's always shame. And it's something that is accepted by us, guys. Why? We say, oh, that's just what politicians do. Bollocks. Bollocks. Sorry about my language, but cheeses with holes in guys. Right? That stuff's not on, you know. It's not on. But what's not on even more is our acceptance of all of that stuff. That's not on. Right? So, like, it's time to raise the consciousness of everybody. It's time to raise children who are in control of their minds, in control of their emotions, and control of their lives, and know stuff. They actually know stuff, right? So they know how to treat people, right? They aren't given sex education, just a biological side, and boom, slammed out into the world to go and, you know, do whatever it is they do and end up pregnant at 14, 15, 16. Come on. Like, you know, if people learn how to respect themselves in here, how to treat themselves and fully understand what they are worth, they're not just going to give that away, you know. No, they don't just give that stuff away, because that energy is sacred, right? Wherever you want to think about it, right? If you want to be the dog, that's it, mate. Grew up in the, you know, the 90s rave scene survivor, barking all day long, right? So I get it, but that was an old me, and the old me dead. And so, like, it's to be able to teach the younger people from an earlier age than we all experience it, that respecting that energy and respecting the body, the absolute temple that you are, absolutely holding on to that for you and not giving it to anyone else unless you know that energy is right and it's the right thing to do for you, not for anyone else. Because ultimately, everything all comes down to what's here. It's you. That heart there, that mind, when they're in coherence, oh man, like, it's so beautiful. And you know what you're worth, and you know that, like, when you go out into the world, because to yourself, you are the best version of yourself, you can go and project that out into the world. And so, you know what? You will only attract those good people to your side. And it won't be a case of, you know, all of these relationships, you know, you hear people saying, I always attract this person, or I always attract that person, or always. That's your energy, you know. And because you're always saying things like, I always attract this person, or always attract that person, you're manifesting that stuff into your life, right? So you need to change everything about yourself. Like, not, well, not physically, but I'm talking about everything that you think about yourself. Because your thoughts create your reality. The things you say about yourself out loud, even more, they're creating your reality. You know, we cast spells, yeah, on ourselves. It's called spelling for a reason, guys. Yeah, we cast spells. So when you're always in a negative energy and you're woe is me and this is happening and that's happening, you always expect the worst to happen. Guess what happens? The worst, isn't it? So, like, always expect the best, even from the worst situations. Tell yourself the best is going to happen. Tell yourself you're absolutely amazing. You're doing just fine how you are. You know, because we all got issues, but we can get through them. And so, again, we go back. We can raise kids to be the most amazing adults that society has seen in absolute thousands of years. You know, and so if we can get that, that's just one thing the project wants to do. Just one thing. We want to break into prison and free the mind of prisoners, my friend, of the lawbreakers. Help them to understand what they really did wrong. And then, you know what, maybe we can end the revolving door process that we've got going. I know it's a bit lucrative, but we're not about money, are we? We shouldn't be about money. We should be about self and everyone else. Because ultimately, like I said, we're all connected. So we're all one. And so we need to realize that for ourselves. We need to go back to this time where we looked out for each other properly, and not just because something bad was happening, just because it was what society did. You know, we look out for each other. So, you know, we can end a lot of the crime, at least. You know, and especially going back to the youth thing, right? Like, the projects that I've tried to set up over the years to help the youngsters, to keep them off the streets, to stop them from selling their weed and smoking their drugs on the street, you know, to stop them getting into crime because they've got nothing else to do. Because guess what, again, they've got nothing else to do because there is nothing for them to do. Community centres closed, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, just because these kids have got devices now that they can use to entertain themselves, computers and football, doesn't mean that that's the be all and end all of their fucking life. It means that that's just a distraction from everything else. You know what I mean? And so, like, look, even if they have a bad home life, or even if they don't, and they still like to hang around in a bad crowd, you know, it's a thing that we can put to an end ourselves, guys. We can put that stuff to an end too. Talk to me, right? Listen to my ideas about what I have for the youngsters to keep them off the street, keep them away from drugs, get them to understand that, you know what, it might look flash, it might look, you know what I mean, it might be cool to have a couple of quid in your pocket, but, you know, you can be an entrepreneur just like that without having to go down that road. You know what I mean? There are kids out there becoming millionaires overnight. You know, so at the end of the day, if you've got an idea, that's sometimes enough, especially in the time that we're living in. We've got this beautiful time that we are living in, even though it's still crazy, we've still got this beautiful time where we can connect in an instant from across the globe to each other. We can send ideas in an instant across the globe to each other. We can collaborate. We can build from across the world. We can build together and come together without actually having to jump on a plane. There is so much we can do. We've got these moments, and we've got these opportunities where we can make the real differences, because we know we cannot count on councils, governments, and the likes. We can't count on stuff like that because everyone's in it for themselves. But I mean, we're in certain things for ourselves. You know, if you're lucky enough to be working, then guess what? You're in it for yourself because it's for your survival. And so, you know, we've got people out there that are only surviving. Well, they're only surviving because, you know, because they've got enough food they have to eat out of the bin, you know, or just, I don't know, they're just somehow surviving because life is holding on. And so, with all of that, this is what we're trying to do. We're obsessed with saving and taking lives, you know, but we should be obsessed with saving the lives, because there are a lot of people out there that are dying, and they're not dying violent deaths, you know what I mean? They're not in the wars, they're not in this, but they're just slowly dying because they've got nothing to live for. And so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give these people something to live for, something to, like, you know, to look back on in a few years' time and say, wow, look how much my life has changed. You know, a few years ago I was sleeping in a doorway. Now, new home, new job, new wife, this, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that they dreamed of, whatever it is they're dreaming of right now, as I'm talking, as the world is spinning, as everything's going on, the universe is doing its thing. What they're dreaming of right now, that's what I'm trying to build for them. Do you understand? So, like, you know, I come to you. I don't come to you with my hat in my hand. I come to you with their hat in your hand. And eventually yours as well. Because at the end of the day, you know, there's always a time when we need help from somebody. It might not be a big favor. It might be a huge favor. It might be money. It might not be money. But we needed help at some point. So, with that being said, you know, let's do what we can to help. Because there are people out there dreaming about us right now. We don't even know it. Well, they're dreaming about us, about me and you and everyone out there. They're dreaming about us coming to save them. That's the opportunity we have. And so, you know, let's take that opportunity and help anyone we can. You know, the project, we've got a long list, man. We've got a long list of people we want to help. You know, it's not the homeless, not just the kids. It's people with mental health issues. It's people with stress issues. It's people from all walks of life. It's you. It's your mum. It's your dad. It's everyone. It's your whole family. We want to help. We want to try and help you to see who you really are, because you are not who you think you are. You're not your clothes, your job, your family, your husband, your wife. You're none of that. You're none of it. You are absolutely magic, beautiful, light being. And you have so much power and so much strength and so much energy within you that when you tap into that, you can actually create miracles. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. I mean, if anyone knows how easy it is, well, it's not easy, guys. I'm not saying it's overnight, man. It doesn't work like that. It takes a lot of work to be able to retrain the whole mind, forget everything you thought you know, to let go of everything. It's difficult because you have to learn how to disassociate fully from everyone you know. Like, you know, it's very difficult to do stuff like that, you know, because in your head you're trying to think of like, how do I make me better? And then you start to worry about everyone else around you. It's like, well, how does my kind of withdrawal how does my withdrawal from everybody kind of, how does that affect them? But kind if you're really in a tight spot within here and within here, and you really need to get out, then that's how to do it. Because only then, when you can totally cut out everything around you and unlearn it and kill that ego and realize that you within here have to be love. You have to be gratitude. You have to be all of the positive things that there are in the whole universe, in every universe that there possibly is. And then that will come out. And everyone else around you, they will reap that energy. They will benefit from all of that. They will benefit from that. So only when you come away from the world that has made you feel hate or stress or sadness or anything, can you come back and absolutely, my battery's gone, but only then can you come back and absolutely love everything and everyone around. But anyway, I love you all. I'll speak to you soon.